What's up, guys? My name is Elias, and Peacemaker has officially dropped its seventh episode on HBO Max. So, here's my take on it. Episode 6 saw some crazy multiverse ish happen, along with providing some connections to the greater DCU at large. Yes, Earth X officially exists in the multiverse, and yes, that means there's a whole dimension where the Nazis won in World War II. Ugh. Rick Flag also reluctantly and potentially stupidly agreed to an alliance with none other than Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor in order to find Peacemaker's portal tech. Oh, and Vigilante met his alternate self, which made for one of the funniest moments in the show's entirety. We pick up at Argus, where there's a giant mural of Adolf Hitler and Mein Kampf books on everyone's desk, which hilariously points out just how clueless Peacemaker really is for not noticing any of it. Here, Hardcourt and Peacemaker escape from Argus by battling security, flying through a glass window, and hopping on the peace cycle to hightail it out of there. Meanwhile, the two vigilantes talk about the Nazis winning and losing in their respective worlds, which doesn't make life on either Earth all that different, especially if we're talking about the year 2025, but I'm just going to leave that there. A terrified Adebayo tries to outrun a mob of white people like something out of a horror movie before she jumps in a pool and gets a surprising assist from none other than Judo Master as he electrocutes everyone else in the pool. Meanwhile, Augie, aka the Blue Devil, has Economos chained up demanding he spill even more beans about his purpose for being in the alternate dimension. Augie tells Keith about meeting his doppelganger one day and realizing he had come from an even darker world than theirs, to which I don't think he's talking about the main Augie we know, but an even worse Augie that we have yet to meet. Which would be insane because Augie 1 was an absolute menace. While Economos unsuccessfully attempts to get Eagly to free him, Adebayo and Judo Master bond over a game of Scrabble, not Scrabble, allowing the former to convince the Argus heavy hitter that Peacemaker really isn't that bad of a dude, just misguided. With Peacemaker and Harcourt cornered by Argus, Augie and Keith arrive just in time to save them, in a really cool shootout, by the way, in order to get some real answers as to the whereabouts of Peacemaker 2. Inmate Sidney Happerson from this year's Superman comes into play, with Rick Flag utilizing his tech skills to track Peacemaker's portal. This man is also in quite possibly the most out of pocket after credits scene of the whole season so far, and again, I'm just amazed that the mature rated content in this show exists among the down to earth comic bookiness driving Superman's pocket of the DCU. It's truly jarring. And I think it's going to keep the DCU quite fresh as opposed to the common denominator of the MCU. Anyway, Peacemaker tells Augie and Keith the whole truth about how he was messed up one night, ventured into Earth X, and killed his doppelganger by accident. While Augie is understanding, quite a shock from his mainline counterpart, Keith is PO'd about the death of his brother, no matter how much Peacemaker wanted to just have his family back again. While Augie wants to send everyone back to where they came from instead of killing them, and gives a heartfelt speech about making mistakes by doing his best, which displays how much of a far cry he is from the other, Augie that Peacemaker grew up with in the main world. Let's just call it Earth 1 for argument's sake. One of the vigilantes flies through the window and begins stabbing the crap out of Augie, upsetting Keith. It's not funny. Upsetting Keith and Peacemaker alike, having now seen his father die twice. Wild. The cops barge in as well, but the vigilantes lay waste to them while Keith battles it out with Peacemaker, only for Peacemaker to snap and stop the violence while giving this self reflecting antidote of being the problem regardless of whatever world they're in. And I think this is a very big showcase of John Cena's acting skills because he's grown quite a lot. I remember this guy when he came out in The Marine, and if you haven't seen it, I wouldn't suggest watching it. But this is like he's really grown as an actor, and clearly he was made for this role. But with Vigilante 2 sacrificing himself to help everyone escape back to Earth 1 and Keith being left alive for potential vengeance in the future, Argus awaits the team and arrests Peacemaker, who hands over the portal in exchange for the team's freedom. Now, episode 8 looks to be almost an hour long, promises some seriously fun multiverse shenanigans, and according to James Gunn himself, connects to the next Superman centered movie, Man of Tomorrow, in 2027. So stay tuned for October 9th, because that episode, as my brother put it, is going to be a doozy. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button, share it to others so they can join in on the conversation, and subscribe to my channel as well as follow me on all socials at Takes with Eli. Get in my comments with your thoughts on episode 7 of Peacemaker. But until next time, guys, take care and God bless.